I feel like you're probably as sick of hearing MrBeast's name as I am, but if you're wondering what all the fuss is about regarding him lately, then this video's for you. We're gonna do a comprehensive overview of MrBeast controversies, so y'all can get the gist of the conversation surrounding him. Also, this video topic was chosen by my Instagram followers. Shout out to y'all. If you want to vote in the poll for the next video topic, follow my Instagram link down below. MrBeast is the most subscribed to YouTube channel in the world. He is currently standing at 308 million subscribers at the time I'm filming this. He is known on the internet for doing everything to the extreme. And by that, I mean doing extreme challenges, spending extreme amounts of money, giving away extreme amounts of money. He has said that the philosophy of his channel is to pour the money he makes from his YouTube videos right back into the channel. Meaning, the better his videos do, the more extreme they're gonna get. His videos, from his thumbnail style, to the wording of the title, to the pacing of the videos themselves, have impacted the trajectory of YouTube. At least in my opinion. Maybe I shouldn't attribute, as MatPat put it, this era of success solely to MrBeast, but I feel like he definitely had a major role in it. And at first, I personally didn't see too much harm in what MrBeast is doing. The production of his videos is insane. What he's able to accomplish is insane. I've also found a lot of his videos entertaining. But within the last several years, as his empire has grown, the amount of people speaking out against him has also grown, and my opinion of him has changed. While you may be inclined to think this is the natural cycle of popularity, with public opinion shifting from love to hate like the swing of a pendulum, there are some crucial conversations to be had about the actions of MrBeast and his crew. But before we get into any of that, I want to talk about the sponsor of today's video. Thank you so much to Raycon for sponsoring this video. Even though I just graduated from college, you best believe I'm going back to school shopping. It's such a fun time, and I don't want to miss out on those sweet, sweet deals. Something y'all need to add to your back to school list is Raycon's best-selling everyday earbuds. Let me tell you, they're a daily essential. First of all, look at how cute they are. I don't normally see earbuds in the color lavender, so it's something that I really appreciate about Raycon, giving us a variety of colors to complement any and all skin tones. And the fit is heavenly. I shied away from earbuds in the past because I have pretty sensitive ears, I'm prone to earaches, but I've not had that problem at all with these earbuds because of their active ergonomic design, which allows them to fit snugly in my ear without falling out. I love to wear them on my daily hot girl walks, and their discreet size and shape also makes it so that my ears don't get all sweaty. Some features that are also pretty cool are that they have multi-point connectivity, which allows me to pair with 2 devices at once, a 32-hour battery life, I don't even remember the last time I charged them because they're still going strong, and active noise cancellation. With the right song, you'll be like spiritually transported, trust me. With amazing audio quality that rivals some of the biggest names in premium audio, what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description box or go to buyraycon.com/todhunter to get 20 to 40% off of your Raycon purchase. Thank you so much again to Raycon for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it. So we're not really going to go through this chronologically, we're going to take it topic by topic, and also for the record, MrBeast's actual name is Jimmy, so I'm going to use MrBeast and Jimmy interchangeably for, you know, a singular man. To start, one of the things that sparked a lot of conversation recently was a video posted by the user dogpack404 on YouTube, with the title being, "I worked for MrBeast, he's a fraud." Before we get into the video, there's actually some controversy surrounding the video itself. The title makes it seem like we'll be getting some sort of inside scoop from someone who actually worked for MrBeast, but that's not really the case. Most of what this guy talks about, anyone could have put together and made it into a YouTube video. He mentions his status as, you know, an ex-employee of the company a handful of times, but ultimately that's not the main focus of the video. And people claim that he can hardly even say he was employed by MrBeast because he only worked there for about a month. According to a tweet by someone named Chucky, who is a current MrBeast employee, I quickly want to debunk some of the info in this video since the guy who made it was on my team. It was my decision to fire him for erratic behavior. He worked at the company for less than a month and wasn't an employee for most of the videos he mentions to have knowledge on. There's so much in his video, and I want to specifically address him saying our videos are fake or staged because this is not true, and I was on set for many of these videos. His tweet is longer and mentions specific points in the video that we'll get to later. People have also called into question Dogpack's credibility because he made a comment about being on shrooms when he was making his video, as well as when he was being interviewed by Ludwig, he repeatedly called him the controlled op, and he just overall didn't give a very good oppression on viewers, but viewers also bashed Ludwig a little bit for being blatantly pro-Beast and not, you know, diving into some of the more concerning issues that Dogpack brought up in his video. Anyways, Dogpack has since been sent 2 cease and desists by MrBeast. He did not really respond to those in a serious manner, even when taking these behaviors that Dogpack has displayed both within and outside of his video into consideration. I think he brings up valid criticisms in the video that are worth mentioning. The first one I want to touch on is that MrBeast and his videos are disingenuous. Now already I've read a tweet by a current MrBeast employee who has adamantly claimed that the videos are not fake, which isn't surprising because MrBeast expresses that same sentiment time and time again. Part of his brand is the fact that what he presents in his videos are truthful to how they occur, so much so that MrBeast and his crew commonly joke about faking videos during the actual video.
But no, we have to be the real channel that doesn't fake things.
Dogpack briefly brings up MrBeast's use of CGI, possibly fake countdowns, and possible voiceovers that are put in post-production. And personally, if those claims are true, I could look past them for the sake of entertainment. However, then we get into a deeper issue, with Dogpack claiming that the prizes that MrBeast claims will go to random subscribers actually go to his friends and family.
I guess you forgot she's your hiring manager. I actually recognize a lot of people in this video, including Jimmy's own girlfriend. So yeah, the random subscribers you see in challenges are actually never random. They're almost always local to MrBeast and oftentimes friends and family of MrBeast employees or just the employees themselves.
He did provide evidence that at least a few people in MrBeast's videos are related to MrBeast, whether they be friends or employees. And MrBeast doesn't say anything about knowing these people in the video, so it kind of implies that they're random when they're not. However, Chucky, in his tweet that I mentioned before, pointed out that in one particular video, because of COVID and some people had COVID so they couldn't participate in the video, then MrBeast employees stepped in and, like, you know, filled some of the seats. Dogpack focused a lot on this guy named Mac, who I believe was presented as a random subscriber or just like a random contestant when really he was connected to the MrBeast team and won, you know, multiple different prizes.
I found public records showing that Mac moved from California to Greenville, North Carolina, where Jimmy is located, back in August 2023, 2 months before he appeared as a contestant. Also, he didn't just move into any old house, he moved into a $1 million mansion.
What are you gonna spend the $800,000 on?
I mean, my life's changed now.
Yeah, I'm sure that $800,000 is really going to change your life.
So in that sense, that could arguably be counted as being rigged. Another instance is these 2 YouTubers winning the MrBeast Willy Wonka chocolate factory thing.
Also, these tickets, one of them just so happened to go to a YouTuber with 700,000 subscribers at the time. Just pure chance.
This was just taped.
It was taped.
No freaking way.
So it is like really like total chance, obviously. Like you're one of like hundreds of thousands of names.
Talk to Jimmy, Bella. What do you got to say to
Jimmy,
say
thank
to him?
you for picking us.
No, he didn't. It was random.
I know.
Was it though? Was it random? Also, this guy went on to win the chocolate factory, and extremely unlikely things do happen, but can we see how the winners were chosen maybe?
So ultimately, I think that the chocolate factory one was likely rigged. I think that the Max situations were likely rigged. Now let's just say that the only times that MrBeast rigged, manipulated the video, gave the prize to a friend under the guise that they were a stranger were only these couple of times. That still means that MrBeast faked at least a couple of his videos and then lied to his fans about it. You may be like, Amanda, well, if this is true, why does it matter if it ultimately leads to more entertaining videos? Well, in my opinion, and this is a theme we'll touch upon more in depth later, MrBeast's channel is built upon the idea that supporting him will reward you. He also knows that his audience is primarily children.
The average demographic is what, 13 through 17? Is that the biggest spike in your analytics?
Well, I mean, mine's horseshit. It says like 18 to 24. If I know all my fucking viewers are little kids.
Personally, I find taking advantage of children by capitalizing on their hopes of winning a prize and then lowering their odds of winning that prize that much more by giving it to someone you know and then lying about it to them to be incredibly cruel. But let's just say that for whatever reason, this whole claim is false. Not once did he rig a video to be more in control of the situation. Every person that has been presented as a random MrBeast subscriber is in fact a random MrBeast subscriber. Even so, we still have a strong case that MrBeast faked at least one of his videos, because a little less than a year ago, longtime YouTuber Rosanna Pansino spoke out about the fact that when MrBeast released his video of extreme $1 million hide and seek, where big creators were competing for a chance to give $1 million to their fans, MrBeast rigged who won and lied about who were in the top 3. In the video, MrBeast said that the winner of the competition was Zach King. He was awarded the $1 million to give to his fans. Lorray was in the top 2 but was disqualified for sleeping in his hiding place and failing to move when he was told to do so, and Logan Paul was in 3rd. However, Rosanna said that after Lorray was disqualified, she was in 3rd place, Quackity was in 2nd place, and Zach King was still the one who won. However, technically, he should have been disqualified because he was hiding in the ceiling, and that was deemed off limits. So ultimately, in reality, Quackity is the one who should have won the entire competition. There is a clip of Quackity saying on stream near around the time the video came out that he came in 2nd place.
So I ended up being in 3rd place. I ended up being in 3rd place because they found me, but Lorray was in that video and Lorray was asleep. So I was technically 2nd place. So I was the 2nd place in that video.
So I got out of the X-ray machine right when Jimmy is driving by on a golf cart. Just, oh my gosh, just bad luck. But I made it to top 4, 4th place. So I'm really proud of myself because that's just a miracle. Never thought I would make it this far.
So for seemingly no reason at all, MrBeast manipulated the narrative of the video, rigged the outcome of the video to be that Rosanna and Quackity weren't in the top 3 at all, and he allowed Zach King to win even though he went against the rules. He didn't tell Rosanna about this change, so she was completely caught off guard when the video came out. And then later on, when she asked Jimmy why he did that, he replied, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? And if you're asking yourself why this matters, Quackity was robbed of $1 million that he would have been able to give to his fans. That's an awful thing to do, to have rules set in place to make it a fair competition and then completely disregarding them. It also seemed like MrBeast wasn't all that concerned that his seemingly small decision to alter the narrative impacted the lives of a lot of people. I don't think that's something to take lightly, and maybe, you know, his mind can't comprehend how large of an amount of money $1 million is now that he's dealing in hundreds of millions of dollars. But anyway, this situation is actually what caused me to start seeing MrBeast in a different light. And this isn't the last time that Rosanna would speak out against MrBeast. More recently, she's been using her platform to publicize the stories that people have been telling her about the conditions of MrBeast's production on set of the upcoming show Beast Games. Basically, Amazon Prime gave MrBeast $100 million to create this competition reality show, aka Beast Games, in which 2,000 people would compete for $5 million. And on the actual show Beast Games, I'm pretty sure it'll be 1,000 people, but it started out as 2,000 people because MrBeast will make a video about that, whittling that number down to 1,000. And on that note, actually, I don't think that contestants were told that the number would be 2,000. Like when they were signing up for the competition, I think the promotional thing said 1,000. So they weren't aware that their odds had been cut in half, and they felt, you know, betrayed at that. And then things only got worse from there. Rosanna made a series of TikToks explaining claims being made by past and present contestants because this is still being filmed. There are people that are still competing for the $5 million, as well as some crew experiences and from people behind the scenes. So they've been messaging her, and the gist of it is they claim the games cater to young athletic men because the challenges in the games favor speed and strength. Some contestants even went so far as to target the weaker ones, a lot of them being women. And so I don't know what the challenge is because, you know, it's probably still confidential, but apparently they started tackling these women. These women ended up with injuries, broken bones. These guys were not penalized for it. There were mosh pits. There are claims that multiple people had seizures because they weren't given timely access to their medication. One person didn't get timely access to their insulin as a diabetic. Claims that they were being fed very little, very infrequently, scarce access to water, really bad sleeping conditions. They barely got any sleep. Sometimes they were expected to sleep during the day, and they were living in like the stadium. Claims that they had delayed access to clean underwear, that they were supposed to be provided with plane tickets home, but they weren't given in a timely manner, so they had to resort to paying out of pocket to find their own means of transportation home because, you know, these people gotta work. A person claimed that the people running the games offered contestants who lost $1,000 to agree that they would not join any sort of class action lawsuit, and later they offered these same contestants an additional $1,000 for any sort of inconveniences. In general, it seems like this event was poorly planned and poorly executed. Rosanna said that she heard from a trusted source that MrBeast and his crew specifically requested that the production of Beast Games be non-union, meaning that there would be less regulation and they didn't need to spend as much money on compensation. And Rosanna showed an email from the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees stating that Beast Games had been deemed an unfair production and that no member is permitted to work on this production. In a New York Times article titled "Willing to Die for MrBeast and $5 million," they wrote that a spokesperson for MrBeast said the shoot was unfortunately complicated by the CrowdStrike incident, extreme weather, and other unexpected logistical and communications issues. The spokesperson said MrBeast had started a formal review and had taken steps to ensure that we learned from this experience. Representatives for Amazon MGM Studios declined to comment. The rest of the article shared stories that were very, very similar to the ones that Rosanna had been sharing. I remember when MrBeast did his rendition of Squid Games, people were joking about the fact that he was doing that, because why are we creating our own version of a show when the TV show Drama on Netflix is originally based on extremely wealthy people using human lives as commodities and using human suffering as entertainment? It's weird that pretty much the only thing that's separating fiction and reality at this point is the fact that no one is actually dying. That may sound dramatic, but according to the claims brought forth in the New York Times and brought forth by Rosanna, there have been abysmal living conditions, violence, and mobs that went without any sort of repercussions, and a multi-millionaire overseeing the project valuing entertainment above all else. And it's not like this is anything new or that no game show has ever done this before, but I think the direct comparison from watching the TV drama on Netflix, Squid Game, where a lot of, you know, the public, us, the viewers, shared a moral opposition to the wealthy people running and enjoying the games, followed immediately by one of the most popular YouTubers stepping into the role of the villain. And now we're hearing that the contestants on the show were legitimately suffering. But I mean, that's literally the theme of MrBeast's channel. How far will you go for the chance to win a lot of money? And that actually brings me to the primary topic of Dogpack 404's video. Dogpack claims that MrBeast employs illegal lotteries. He cites multiple cases happening primarily during these two live streams, the other big one being Feastables, his brand of chocolate bars. Dogpack did a good job explaining what an illegal lottery is in his video. Captain Sparkles also made a video about the situation in specific regard to illegal lotteries, but I'm also going to explain as well. To reiterate what they both say, in general, lotteries are illegal unless you're talking about the lottery, as in the one run by the government. There are a few exceptions, but usually a person can't just run their own lottery. Lotteries are usually formatted as, if you buy this, then you have a chance to win this. If a gamble has all three elements, A, consideration, which is, you know, usually payment, B, random chance, and C, having a prize, that's a lottery, and that's illegal. You need to take out one of these three elements in order to make it legal. For example, a contest takes out random chance by having people, you know, use a skill and compete. A sweepstakes takes out the pay to entry. Dogpack adamantly claims that MrBeast has employed many illegal lotteries throughout his two live streams where he's selling his merchandise that are no longer publicly available on his channel. Captain Sparkles pretty much acknowledges the same thing. The reason why I hesitate to say that what Jimmy has done is illegal is because I feel like the methods MrBeast employs are probably technically legal through some loophole or other. The entirety of MrBeast's brand functions on a similar system. If you support MrBeast, you may win a prize. A lot of giveaways function like this, and a lot of creators do giveaways. If you subscribe to my channel, you'll be entered for a chance to win the newest iPhone. Does that sound familiar? Now, giveaways are allowed because that's technically a sweepstakes. You don't have to pay to enter, no purchase necessary, you're good to go. Subscribing, following, commenting doesn't cost any money. You get into much riskier territory when you are encouraging people to buy things from you in order to be entered in a chance to win something, like MrBeast does all the time. MrBeast has done a couple of live streams, and in both of these live streams, the main message was, if you buy this shirt, then you may win a massive prize. Because in these live streams he doesn't say no purchase necessary, it would seem like this is an illegal lottery. But then it got me thinking, don't creators do this all the time though? David Dobrik's QR puzzle immediately comes to mind, and actually now that I'm thinking about it, David and Jimmy have some similarities. But then you also think about the ones that you've seen on television, like the Danimals cruise and the ones on the cereal boxes and other food products, and they advertise these grand prizes with the not so mandatory but basically mandatory condition of buying the product. The reason that these types of things are able to function is because, like I briefly mentioned before, the no purchase necessary option needs to be available. And in my opinion, I'm no lawyer, but not only does it need to be an option, but it needs to be a publicized option. It needs to be adamantly clear to the public that there's no purchase necessary. With Danimals and like cereal boxes and stuff, it is pretty adamant because in the commercial itself, there's always that line at the end that goes, no purchase necessary, many will enter, only one will win. So buying the product they're advertising is not a condition for entering the sweepstakes, and it would be considered a sweepstakes in this case. Instead, you usually send a letter to indicate your interest. Sending a letter isn't technically free, but I digress. And sending a letter is the no purchase necessary option, which will give you an equal chance in the drawing, supposedly, as buying the product would. However, unlike food products where you're probably buying them like cereal on a regular basis, so it doesn't even really feel like an added expense, buying merchandise like a MrBeast shirt, you're definitely going out of your way to make that purchase. On top of that, the glaring problem that I see with MrBeast's method of sweepstakes is that he does not make the no purchase necessary option abundantly clear. For example, for this particular Feastable sweepstakes, nowhere on the main page does it say no purchase necessary. In fact, it preaches the exact opposite. And that's the thing, unless you know about this clause and are specifically searching for it, you probably won't come across it. To find it, you need to click how to enter and then go to the official rules, and only then will you get information on how to apply without purchasing. Dogpack brings up MrBeast's first live stream where apparently, and we don't know for sure because the video is no longer public, which is sketchy in his own right, he is not heard saying even once in the stream that no purchase is necessary, and it didn't appear to be on the website or in the description of the video. That's what Dogpack claimed. I don't know if that's, completely accurate, but in the second live stream, again, he wasn't heard saying in the actual live stream that no purchase was necessary, but there is a disclaimer in the description of the live stream. Captain Sparkles did a video on this, like I mentioned, and he actually admits that he accidentally ran an illegal lottery. He says that it's a common pitfall for creators who want to give back to their community. In his particular case, he was running some sort of charity event and he wanted to give back to people who had donated, and that, when people give money and then you enter them in a chance to win a prize, that's, that system is an illegal lottery. And so he gives MrBeast the benefit of the doubt because he knows that it's a common pitfall for creators to fall in, and if you aren't aware of the logistics of lotteries, I certainly wasn't. I had no idea about any of this stuff before I was researching this video. So Captain Sparkle said that Jimmy probably has good intentions and wants to give back to his community. I disagree with that. I'm not giving Jimmy the benefit of the doubt, because if what Dogpack 404 said was true about the fact that MrBeast didn't have the no purchase necessary disclaimer anywhere in the first live stream, but then he did in the second, that makes me believe that someone told him about the, legality of the situation, which caused him to add the no purchase clause, but he continues to employ these manipulative methods anyway because it makes him a lot of money. Saying no purchase necessary adamantly throughout the duration of the live stream would completely defeat the purpose being he wants to sell merchandise. You may be like, Amanda, there's only a few clips, a few segments available of these live streams, you know, they're no longer public. How do you actually know what you're talking about? Because I was there, bitch. This live stream took place 4 years ago. I had just turned 17. It was the first and last time I bought merchandise from a creator. Consider me swindled, but damn it, I was curious. What if I was one of the lucky few who would get a Tesla? Over and over, MrBeast would tell me to buy a shirt that I could win, that I would probably win with all of the prizes they were throwing in each and every package. Heck, he was giving so much money away, he might not even make any. Granted, memory is a fickle thing, but I watched several hours of this live stream waiting for my time to buy this stupid goddamn shirt. Not once did I hear him say that you do not need to purchase something in order to win one of the prizes. So like I said, I was waiting for my perfect moment to strike. The lotteries were very unorganized. He was telling you to buy a shirt in 5 minutes to get a prize. No wait, 7 minutes. No wait, 3 minutes. I actually remember regretting buying my shirt immediately after the fact because right after I did, he offered another prize that was bigger and better. But I got my order confirmation. I waited patiently for that package, containing what I could only assume would be my shirt buried beneath piles of cash. But when the order arrived, it just contained this shirt. Now, if we're being real, did I actually genuinely believe that I would be one of the people who would win a massive prize? No, I was mostly doing it for the memes. And I only bought one shirt, so you know, it's not like I did anything crazy. But that's what gambling does. It preys on your hope until that hope wins out over, you know, your logic. And then before you know it, you just spent 50 bucks on a shirt you don't even want. With this particular shirt, there was a guarantee that came with it. It would be signed by at least one member of the MrBeast crew, including MrBeast himself. My shirt had a signature MB in the bottom right-hand corner. Now back then, when I saw this, when I opened up my package and saw who signed my shirt, I was immediately skeptical. You're telling me the MrBeast signed my shirt? But who was I to question the all-powerful Jimmy and all his beastliness, renowned for staying true to his word? However, literally on the live stream, there's evidence of someone forging MrBeast's signature.
Here's a clip of Tyler forging, or not, maybe not forging, using MrBeast's signature. So Tyler signs MB, which is MrBeast's signature. Then he covers it, signs his own initials, TC, smirks, looks around, and then quickly slides the shirt away. Could you make it any more obvious? You know, you don't accidentally have someone else's signature as muscle memory.
There are even different variations of the MB in different handwriting styles, presumably because they were written by different people. What variation is mine, you may ask? I have no goddamn clue. Because I watched this bitch over and over again without a single regard for the safety of the signature. Why? Because like I said, I had my doubts about whether it was even real, and I spent 50 bucks on this bitch. You best believe I'm aware. If you think for whatever reason, like this is a fake shirt, or I washed this shirt over and over again recently to make this point, guess again. I made a video 7 months ago where I played Just Dance, featuring the shirt in all its glory with no signature to be seen anywhere. I dare you to find a lick of ink on that bad boy. Anyways, why is this so harmful? First of all, promising a signature and then having it forged is completely unacceptable. All we have is Jimmy's word and I guess the word of the employees that the signature is real, and that's not looking too good right now. Second of all, I will reiterate that MrBeast's audience is primarily children. I was a child at the time. He knows this, and still he employs manipulative tactics, borderline illegal. And I mean, the reality is that it's straight up gambling for the purpose of profiting off of their fundamental innocence and for profiting off of people who are already susceptible to gambling. And then we get into his latest endeavor, selling chocolate bars through his brand Feastables. It was originally marketed as this like super healthy chocolate bar in comparison to bigger name brands like Hershey's. It only has 5 ingredients. Well, technically the bars differ, ranging from 4 to 6 ingredients. He has called it infinitely healthier than Hershey's, whatever the fuck that means. Apparently recently Feastables changed its ingredients without really, you know, an announcement. The new ingredients look more or less the same to me. Maybe they're more processed. I'm not really educated on this topic. Maybe they thought if they kept the number of ingredients more or less the same, people wouldn't notice. But it's not like Hershey's has an incredibly long list of ingredients. I don't know. They all seem kind of more or less the same to me. First of all, putting the words chocolate and infinitely healthy in the same sentence is absurd. Then packaging it as a barely legal lottery and marketing it towards children is crazy. Beware of candy from strangers, kids. MrBeast is not your friend. Now, tricking me into gambling is one thing, but he got my mother too. I came home one day to find a package of Feastables in the pantry, and I was like, who the fuck bought this? Who was Jimmy's latest victim? Turns out it was my mom. We did not win $10,000 through that purchase, in case you were curious, but she actually does love the chocolate. That's an endorsement for you right there, Jimmy. One that you could not pry out of Keith.
This is the one you believe in?
Yes.
Not crazy, Jamie.
No? You don't like Crunch Bars?
I do like Crunch Bars, but...
Alright, this brings me to the last and final topic, which is Ava Tyson. She has been featured in many a MrBeast video because she is Jimmy's longtime friend. I believe they were friends before they started working together. News started circulating around her because about a year ago, she shared to the public that she had separated from her wife. She is a transgender woman and goes by she, her pronouns now. The amount of transphobia I witnessed after this announcement was made at the time was absolutely disgusting. I remember it vividly, but thankfully a lot of people spoke out against the harassment that Ava was experiencing, including MrBeast and Ava's ex-wife. During this time, there was one particular video that was making its rounds. It was originally entitled, "Why Chris Will Soon Be a Nightmare for MrBeast." Lots of people spoke out against this video and lent their support to Ava because the sentiment of the video is that Ava will be a nightmare for MrBeast because she now identifies as a woman. Some people are now looking back on this video with everything that's come out about Ava and are being like, whoa, actually, this guy predicted the future. He's so right. No, the fuck he was not. If someone a year ago said that Trisha Paytas will give birth to a girl because the late Queen Elizabeth will be reincarnated as her baby, you can't single out the first part of that sentence and be like, oh, well, since this part is true, the whole statement is true. That's not how it works. Ava did become a nightmare to MrBeast, but it's not because of the reasons discussed in this video, and it's harmful to perpetuate that narrative. And the crazy thing is that at the time, the creator could have made a video about Ava discussing past problematic behavior because the stuff that's coming out now is stuff that had already happened back then. But that's not what it was. It was a video with pretty blatant transphobic undertones disguised as commentary. And the thing about this is that Ava's identity as a trans woman has nothing to do with the conversation about her past problematic behaviors. So basically, to get into it, in terms of why she's trending right now, basically this was sparked by a guy who made a video on YouTube saying that Ava groomed someone named Lava when Ava was in her early 20s and he was 14. Essentially, he made the video an allegation on Lava's behalf without Lava's consent. So then Lava came out and said, what the fuck? That's not true at all. However, even though this particular allegation was false, this sparked people to look into Ava's history, and that's where we get into problematic behavior and disturbing activity. The first of which is, and this term has been thrown around a lot, edgy jokes. I think that undermines the severity of what was being said a little bit, but nonetheless, Ava was making really inappropriate comments in her early 20s on a public Discord server that included kids as young as 14 years old who were not only a part of this public Discord server, but were moderating it. This would include Ava contributing to conversations with these minors, calling each other, you know, mommy, daddy, calling each other sexy, sharing sexually explicit drawings, which is completely and utterly inappropriate. Lava had been really defending Ava up until this point, but after reading the Discord leaks and after reliving the messages after all this time, he amended his earlier statements about only the Discord comments. And he said, I thought I had a good memory of the situation, but I was wrong. After reading the chat logs, this stuff was inappropriate and wrong. I was a minor in the situation and not the adult influencer who shouldn't have allowed this to happen. Jimmy had his fair share of edgy jokes in his past as well, like when he allegedly responded to a comment about selling black people for money, and he said, the most I would pay is probably $300. Also, he was on a podcast and Jimmy jokingly asked one of the people he was on the podcast with if they would stick their dick in Bad Baby, I think that's how you pronounce her name, who was 14 years old at the time. The person on the podcast, that wasn't Jimmy, later came out and said that they were purposefully trying to clip farm, aka they were trying to have people take this clip out of context. They were purposefully trying to be edgy. And so about these particular statements, MrBeast's spokesperson strikes again, came out and said that when Jimmy was a teenager, he acted like many kids and used inappropriate language while trying to be funny. Over the years, he has repeatedly apologized. Has he? Because so far I've only heard the spokesperson, and has learned that increasing influence comes with increased responsibility to be more aware and more sensitive to the power of language. After making some bad jokes and other mistakes when he was younger, as an adult, he has focused on engaging with MrBeast community to work together on making a positive impact around the world. Aw, that's so nice. Jimmy, why don't you use the power of language to speak for yourself? I mean, maybe he has. I haven't looked into his specific apologies, but so far, I haven't seen anything that he's said directly, except actually for a tweet that we'll get to in a second. But what's up with speaking through a spokesperson? Is that some sort of business tactic? But something that has been really concerning that has come out is that Ava had been a longtime supporter of this artist named Shadman. They are well known for creating lolicon art. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. This phrase derives from the English phrase Lolita complex, which, if you know the whole Lolita complex thing, it's derived from a novel. But this particular type of art is a genre of fictional media in Japanese popular culture which focuses on young girl characters, particularly in a sexually suggestive or erotic manner. Ava bought a poster from Shadman and displayed it in a living room, and there is a video on the MrBeast channel, I think, or was at one point, of MrBeast being in the room and looking directly at the poster. Ava's apology on Twitter is as follows. I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things MrBeast and social media to focus on my family and mental health. I never groomed anyone. The person who gets brought up in these accusations has vocally supported that they are false. Having said that, I humbly apologize to anyone I've hurt with my unacceptable social media posts, past actions, and to those who may feel betrayed by how I used to act online. MrBeast then made a response. Not by a spokesperson. Over the last few days, I've become aware of the serious allegations of Ava Tyson's behavior online, and I'm disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. During that time, I've been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel, and any association with MrBeast. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions. I will allow the independent investigators the necessary time to conduct a comprehensive investigation and will take any further actions based on their findings. Interesting that Ava said it was mutual, but Jimmy said that he removed her. Anyway, I have problems with these statements. What is up with the vague language? Ava's apology and MrBeast's spokesman apology and MrBeast's statement on the matter reduced the actions to past actions, bad jokes and other mistakes, inappropriate actions. What are you talking about specifically? What are you referring to? To me, that's a generalization that lacks true accountability. Ava, you made jokes of an inappropriate sexual nature. 2 minors as young as 14 in a public Discord server, purchased and proudly displayed lolicon artwork, and then, not only that, but you exposed these same children to these types of artworks. It's one thing to partake in that yourself, it's another thing to actively, perpetuate it to these kids. MrBeast, Jimmy, you say that you've only been made aware of certain actions within the last few days. There's evidence of you looking at the poster that Ava purchased from Shadman. He was also in the Discord server that Ava was in, joined in on an inappropriate joke or two. What do you mean you've just become aware of this over the past few days? Now, he could be referring to the lava allegations as well as an SA allegation that also came out during this time, posted by Muskina on Twitter, which he might not have known about and is investigating further. She met Ava as an adult, but there was a power imbalance because she was Ava's assistant and As a result, this woman claims that she felt coerced into doing different various sort of sexual activities. Ava hasn't spoken on this though. Don't really know what's going to come out regarding that. In conclusion, I feel like we have a pretty good understanding of what MrBeast's goal is. He wants to be the best, and if I were to guess why he would want that, perhaps it's to gain recognition, to entertain, to make money, and, you know, in part to give back as well. Although it's important to point out that whether intentionally or not, MrBeast's philanthropy has shielded him from criticism to an extent. But I do think he genuinely likes giving back. But again, that doesn't mean that he's immune to any sort of criticism. Someone can donate a lot and still do awful things. What Jimmy seems to neglect is the how in the equation. How does he achieve his goals? How has he managed to become the best? By sometimes lying and sometimes manipulating his young audience? By excusing his own harmful behavior as well as the harmful behavior of his close friend until it was bad for his business? By encouraging gambling to children? By cutting corners in production, leading to an abysmal set quality for the cast and crew alike? I really hope he's going to change how he runs his business, although I can't realistically see it because it's hard to imagine the MrBeast channel functioning without the psychological tactics of, hey, support me and I'll maybe get you a Tesla. At the very least, don't have your fans pay to enter a sweepstakes masquerading as a lottery. I think working on accountability, humility, and safer working conditions is very doable, especially in terms of taking like immediate courses of action. Will MrBeast be able to let go of his ambitions and prioritize the well-being of others now that he's number one? Only time will tell. And you know what's so crazy? This man is only 26 years old. So when he started popping off like what, 4 years ago, he was 22? What made me think he was older? The facial hair? He's the same age as Lorray, Brent Rivera, Tana Mojo. He's definitely old enough to know better, that's for sure. But in the grand scheme of life, he's young, so hopefully he has some growth left in him. Thank you all for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if I missed anything, questions, comments, concerns, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.